Sasa wewe sikuja juu sasa hivi ni fabrication yako.
200
200
ni fabrication yako.
Fabrication yako.
Ni
fabrication 200.
Sasa hii 200 ni kama jet.
Dreamliner.
Dreamliner Mombasa. Mwisho.
Could I have avoided this? Well, I don't know. But you guys know one golden rule I try to live by on this channel. I absolutely hate going to the Nairobi Central Business District or CBD on a bike. It isn't just a mild dislike, it is a genuine sense of dread that settles in the pit of my stomach every time I have to point my front wheel towards town. From previous encounters, I have simply not had very good experiences navigating the concrete jungle of the CBD. In fact, if you've been following my journey, you know I have had some actual incidences where my beloved Voge 525DSX took a hit. It is an adventure bike designed for tough terrain, yet somehow the most dangerous terrain isn't mud or gravel. It is the unpredictable asphalt of the city center. But today, I found myself asking, do I really have a choice? As much as I wanted to avoid it, duty calls, so I had to gear up, take a deep breath, and dive in. It all began with a single innocent SMS notification flashing on my phone, of course, telling that my parcel had finally arrived and it was ready for collection. That little buzz in my pocket meant I had no option but to go pick it up. And immediately the nerves kicked in. I am always anxious when the destination is the CBD because riding there is pure chaos. Once you cross into that zone, it feels like the laws of physics and traffic no longer apply. You are constantly surrounded by notorious Matatus drivers who simply do not want to recognize motorbike riders as human beings. Perhaps to them, we are just obstacles to be squeezed past. Then you have the reckless Boda Bodas riders who have zero patience, weaving through gaps that don't exist, and rogue van drivers who treat traffic rules as mere suggestions rather than laws. The environment itself is an assault to the senses. You are sitting there in traffic jam under the blazing sun of Nairobi and East Africa, feeling the heat rising from the engine and the tarmac, cooking inside your riding gear. The noise pollution is overwhelming, with the constant blaring of horns from every direction creating a symphony of stress. The air is thick with exhaust fumes that choke you every time you open your visor for a breath of fresh air. To make matters worse, you have to constantly watch out for pedestrians trying to cross the road so blindly, you would honestly think they just don't want to live anymore. Stepping right in front of moving bikes without a care in the world. Add in the Matatus that decide to reverse without any warning, and traffic police who are prowling around looking to arrest any motorist for the slightest infraction, and you have a recipe for high-stress riding. Given all these moving elements, the statistical probability of something going wrong when you ride your motorbike in the CBD of Nairobi is incredibly high. However, being a businessman and having to go fetch my inventory, I simply didn't have any choice here. You all know the hustle. I sell coastal products, delicacy and clothing like madera, achari, mabuyu, korosho, and all those things. These are snacks that I source directly from Mombasa to sell here in Nairobi to keep the business running. Sometimes I enjoy the ride and bring them up myself when I go to the coast, but most of the time, for the sake of time itself, I usually just get them via parcel delivery. This means that I inevitably find myself having to go fetch them in town at the bus shuttle booking offices, which forces me right back into the belly of the beast.
Mambo. Dreamliner iko wapi? Dreamliner.
Dream. Ya Mombasa. Dienda huko unaingia hata barabara hapo unanyosha straight.
Duruma Road.
Duruma Road.
Sawa. Thank you.
Akani namba ngapi sasa?
Mita na kitu hapo.
Milioni?
Kuna
niweke 1 million.
Hata hii si bei kidogo sana.
Kamera. Inakuja na kamera.
Hapana.
Hii kamera mwenyewe umeweka?
Asa thank.
The fear I feel isn't rational. It is based on hard evidence. You must have seen the previous videos that I had a nasty incident right here in these streets. I was stationary minding my own businesses when a Matatu driver decided to suddenly reverse without any warning or hazard lights or even checking his side mirrors. He ended up crashing into my front tire.
Mambo.
A sickening crunch. There was no casualty, thankfully, so I am eternally grateful for my safety. But it stands as a testament to how things can go south in a split of a second, despite you being careful and riding cautiously. You can do everything right, wear all the gear and follow every rule, but in the CBD, the danger often comes to find you.
Dreamliner.
Dreamliner Mombasa ile?
Mwisho kwa hii line.
Hii line ya left. Hii mkono hapo.
Sawa bro.
Kabla ufike junction.
Sawa, thanks Dreamliner. Hello. Habari zenu?
Sasa shida ni moja. Akiamka anakuja. Akilala anatoka sasa kwa.
Namba ni 2140 bus package.
Pistoni. Ni ngapi? 700 ama mita?
Hata imepita mita.
Imepita. Unapewa plus gear ama gear unajibaia?
Gear kando.
Gear kando na ni mita. Kwa hivyo gear sasa lazima ungelepesa 200. Hizi na utapata tu helmet. Helmet ndio namba.
Hapa helmet.
Helmet ya. Helmet ndio unabaki.
Hadi box, bike haiji na anything.
Bike ni venye tu iko hivyo hivyo. Mpaka box haina. Sasa wewe sikia juu sasa hizi ni wewe fabrication yako.
200.
200.
Fabrication yangu.
Fabrication yako.
Sasa hii 200 inakwenda kama jet. Sinaenda Malindi, natoka Nairobi naenda Malindi.
Hiyo ni masaa mangapi?
Kutoka Malindi last weekend.
Ukuje tukuwekee mzigo, sawa?
Sawa. Navaa vizuri. Sasa hivi unajua kuna joto. Mombasa hapa ni haraka.
Yako ya kazi ama ya start yake ya
both, natumia both. Kama sasa naona nimekuja mzigo, narudi home.
Lakini mzigo ya pesa si
biashara. Asa jamaa.
I am happy to report, however, that despite the struggles and the anxiety I mentioned, my ride was actually fairly clean today. It felt like a rare stroke of luck. I was able to navigate the gridlock, get in and get out of the CBD without any major incidences or scratches on the bike. I went in, located the shuttle offices, grabbed my luggage, strapped it down and got out of the danger zone as fast as I could. The relief of seeing the skyline of the city facing in my rear view mirrors was immense. However, the day wasn't over yet. There was one more goal I had to achieve, a much more pleasant side quest that I had been looking forward to. I did very well at my day job recently. There was a specific project that I led successfully and it was a massive hit with the team. As a reward, my boss gifted me this unique shopping voucher. The catch was I can only use it at Sarit shopping mall. So I decided to combine the efforts. Instead of going straight home to relax after the stressful CBD ride, I pointed the Voge towards Westlands.
Eh.
This part of the journey was a stark contrast to the earlier chaos. This was a fairly easy ride, and I'm very used to this route to Westlands, as this path I use whenever I commit to work most of the time. The roads are wider, the traffic flows better, and there was nothing to surprise me here. It was just smooth cruising. What did surprise me though was what awaited me inside the mall. I walked in feeling confident with my reward. The voucher was worth 5,000 Kenya shillings. Being the hustler I am, I always look for a deal. I went in there doing some mental math. I was expecting to grab at least 3 pairs of jeans, estimating them to be around 1,500 Kenya shillings each. It seemed like a solid plan. I wasn't even aiming to the luxury brands. I didn't even set foot in expensive shops like the Levi's because I know my financial lane. I was only looking at the standard accessible shops like Mr. Price, LC Waikiki and Max. I thought I was about to upgrade my wardrobe significantly. Little did I know I was about to get embarrassed big time. I was absolutely shocked to find out that 5,000 shilling voucher could barely afford a single pair of jeans, despite the clothes supposedly being on a Black Friday discount sales. I stood there holding a pair of trousers looking at the price tags and realized that the economy is on a different level in Westlands. I walked in expecting a shopping spree and walked out realizing that 5,000 bob in this economy in a high-end mall is basically a pocket change. It was a humbling end to the day, surviving the dangers of the CBD only to be defeated by the price tag in Sarit Centre. Standing there in the middle of the store, realizing that the jeans I wanted were way out of my budget, I had a moment of clarity. Instead of feeling bitter about the high prices, I decided to flip the script and turn it into a blessing for someone else. I walked over to the kids section and suddenly that same 5,000 shilling voucher felt like a fortune. I started looking for clothes for my 3-year-old son, and then the joy of picking things out for him completely washed away my earlier disappointments. It is amazing how, as a parent, you instantly forget your own needs when you see something perfect for your child. I managed to get him a fantastic high-quality outfit, all fully covered by the voucher. And of course, I couldn't forget the queen of my heart waiting at home. I used the remaining balance to grab a few bars of premium dark chocolate for my better half. It is her absolute favorite treat, and I knew that walking through the doors with gifts for our son and chocolates for her would bring more happiness to my household than a new pair of jeans ever could. As I strapped the shopping bag onto the bike and prepared to ride the final leg home, I couldn't help but sit there for a minute and reflect on a sheer contrast of the day. It started with the heart-pounding anxiety of dodging reckless Matatus in the dusty, noisy CBD and ended with quiet, air-conditioned realization of the cost of living in Westlands. But through it all, the traffic jams, the close calls and the shopping shocks, the biggest feeling I have right now is the overwhelming gratitude. I am so thankful for the gift of life, for the good health that allows me to hustle, and for the divine protection that kept me safe on the unpredictable Nairobi roads. You can always buy clothes later and business deals will come and go, but arriving home in one piece to hug your family is the only thing that truly matters. If the story resonated with you, or if you've ever felt the struggle of daily hustle, please show some love to this channel. It goes a long way in keeping us going. Go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to join this amazing community, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss out on our next adventure. Stay safe, cherish your loved ones, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.